Oh, don't panic. We are here, but I don't know what I've done. As always, Fletch cocking it up.
Standard.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I was jigging away to the tune. I like that music.
I don't know what I'm doing. I just forget what I'm doing half the time. Anyway, welcome everybody to a special podcast that we're recording for you. I've got my good friend, Big Fletch, in the house tonight because he had a brilliant idea. And as soon as he's mentioned it, got my cogs ticking over. And I thought, you know, this is a brilliant idea of doing a men's mental health special. Now, if you are one of our lady listeners, I think this is also good for you because maybe you may have a man in your life and it might think about, you know, asking some stuff, making sure he's okay and all that sort of stuff. And some of it applies to you girls as well, right? So, but yeah, we wanted to do a men's mental health episode because it's Men's Mental Health Month. Is that right, Fletch?
Men's Health Awareness Month.
Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I cock that as well. Anyway, so if you didn't know, Fletch is one of the OGs. He's one of my best friends. He's an absolute legend. I love being with him mainly because he gives the best hugs, and you do. If you've met Fletch, he's a huge man, but he does give the best hugs. And so today we're going to talk about our experiences in terms of health, but also mental health. Fletch is going to talk on the health, probably a little bit more side of things for what he's gone through. I'm also going to open up and talk about sort of the mental health side of things on some of the battles. And we picked a good day. I'll come on to that. And then we're going to round it off because I think it is important how running can have a real positive influence on all of this. Okay. So that's what we want to get out of this. So 30 odd minutes, something like that. So if you're listening to this as you're driving along, great. If you're listening to this as a run, even better. But yes, so there we go. So Fletch, I think what would be awesome is if you could let the listeners who have not listened to you before on the show or met you, to give them a brief. Let's keep it brief because we haven't been here because I've not had dinner, and you're still at work.
I'm still at work.
Yeah, give them a brief understanding of your health battles. Yeah, because it's obviously it's 1 year, and where you're at now. Is that fair?
Yeah, fully fair. What I might add as well is if you are driving, you might want to pull over because you might get emotional.
Yeah.
And we'll try not to.
Don't start me off again.
Like I'll try not to. I'm worried about starting myself off.
Okay, mate.
So, obviously, as Chris said, okay, Big Fletch, been around the group as one of the originals with Chris. First met at Royal Parks, complete nutter. So, been in FORDYs obviously a number of years, and a lot of you older members and a lot of you, some newer members will see me around. So recently my story was September the 12th, I was diagnosed with head and neck cancer. I was diagnosed with a stage 4 stage tumor in the base of my tongue, on the base of my tongue, which had spread to one of my lymph nodes. Escalated very quickly in regards to treatment. I started my treatment virtually a year ago yesterday, was the first day. 35 rounds of radiotherapy, 3 full-day chemo sessions, and at the end of that session on the 22nd of December, I didn't feel too bad, and then I plummeted both mentally and physically downhill, which it was all part of the process that they talk you through and tell you about. You will take a big dive before you pick back up, and I was given the all clear or one year remission starting, I think about 2-3 months ago. So I'm in remission at the moment, the first year. There is a high chance of it returning in the first 2 years because of the tumor that I had and the location of it. So in all, that's where I am now. I have regular checkups. Unfortunately, at the moment, I've picked up a bit of an infection in my throat. So obviously, that's all due to my immune system being quite low from the chemo and the treatment. So I still have to be a little bit aware. But yeah, in all, I'm in a good place. For those that saw me, probably I think at the London Marathon, maybe October or no, April time.
Mm.
Yeah. I was rather skinny, very cold, wrapped right up. But I was on the way through and on the way to
Mhm.
recovery. So, but since then, I've progressed very well. I am now obviously here talking to you. I'm back at work full time. Can't put no weight on, which it's not a bad thing. So I'm quite happy at my weight level at the moment. It enables me to run a little bit faster. So,
Mm.
and I'm able now to get out and do more running and a lot more exercise. It's all started very slow. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. And the key thing for me was, I found my diagnosis as such by just feeling like I am now
Mm.
in my throat,
Mm.
my lymph node up. Thought it may have been a sore throat that was coming, as we all do. A lot of you can probably relate to when we were all kids. Mum used to say, "Oh, if you've got, if your glands are up, you're going to get a sore throat. You're going to be poorly." So that's what I put it down to, and then obviously that escalated to it wasn't going anywhere. So I went and got it checked. And then things escalated from there in regards to I had a little bit of a bad bleed, which enhanced it a little bit
Mhm.
further. But literally, the process was the first time I saw a GP with a camera, I came out, literally received a phone call within 2 hours to come back the following week for a ultrasound. Came out of there, received a phone call 2 hours later to come back the following week for a CT scan.
Yeah, I remember you telling me.
Came out of there, yeah. Came out of there an hour or so later, received another phone call back next week for another ultrasound with a
Yeah, yeah.
biopsy, which is where obviously the diagnosis came from. And I
Mhm.
was formally diagnosed, as I said, on the 12th of September, but unofficially, I was given the sort of like prognosis as such that someone of my age, it was either an infection or cancerous. Well, I knew it
Mhm.
was an infection because my bloods were all clear.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was on the Thursday. And my first question was, can I run the Great North Run? To the chief, to the doctor.
Sorry, doc, I'm a bit
Yeah, bit
any
preoccupied.
chance?
Yeah. Who looked at me and said, as long as you take it easy, off you go.
Yeah, which
And
you did?
which I did. Met up with, the family, you
Mm.
guys. Didn't tell virtually anyone, obviously, apart from yourself, obviously, a whisper
Mm.
in the ear hole and
Mhm.
stuff. And then promptly told our beautiful Stella at mile 8 on the Great North Run, and we both had a moment
Yeah, yeah.
and then pushed on. So yeah, so I'm in a good place.
Mhm.
I'm pushing and doing a lot of work with head and neck cancer
Mhm.
and regards to obviously helping them. I'm raising money as much as I can for them, but I'm for my own local oncology unit. But I'm doing a lot with them in the background and with a couple of companies in regards to putting it out there, making people aware,
Mhm.
and for guys to understand that it's key to just check. It really is key. And I'm not just saying check your neck. I'm not just saying check under your arms, down below, breasts, everywhere.
Yeah.
It's got to be your whole body. You need to, don't just focus on just this month. I know there's big, massive publicity regarding this month, Men's Health Awareness Month.
Yeah, yeah.
The Movember's coming.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for mine to grow this side, which is where I had the treatment done. It'd be funny if I only get half a side grow.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but it's in all, it's health awareness. It's our own health. Yes, it focuses on prostate. So, don't be put off by being checked for it. It's
No.
a PSA test now. It's not old school. It's not go to your doctors, drop, thank you very
Yeah.
much. Well, yeah, I know it's not great, so I won't go into detail. It's now go to your GP and you have a blood test. And
Yeah.
they test your PSI.
Yeah.
And if that's clear, you're fine. If there is some abnormality,
Yeah, yeah. And
abnormalities,
irregularities. Yeah, yeah.
irregularities, then they develop it and take it a little bit further.
Mhm.
But that's only beneficial. So, just do not be afraid. And I pushed it. I think when I first came on, when we did the Stand Up for Cancer, which was
Yeah.
phenomenal. Thank you very much for that. Great response. But I pushed it there and then as well. Go to your GP. Book an appointment. I know it's hard to get a GP's appointment.
Oh,
Appreciate it
you
from
know, you was telling me about having a bad day. Yeah.
yeah, fair enough. No, but book yourself in and get it. They are trying to prioritize men's of certain age, and if you've got a
Yeah.
lump or something not normal, they'll get you in. There's a referral process they have to go through, but you're in the system.
Mm.
Trust me, once you're in and it starts, it goes rapid.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
do not mess
It's
around.
just getting into the system.
It is.
It is. I have to give him a shout because my dad was diagnosed with it and prostate,
Mm.
and the care he got was amazing. He's regularly tested in terms of his PSA numbers.
Mhm.
Yeah. And thank Christ that he had the treatment and it got it down. So, and that's amazing. He got great care.
There is.
Caught it quickly, dealt with it, and again, it comes from a check that took place, and that's the importance of getting checked.
Absolutely. When I was going through it, this is just a little funny story just to lighten the mood a little bit because it's getting a bit deep and whatever, just lighten the mood. So whilst I was going through my treatment, the 35 sessions of radiotherapy, it took its toll on me. And,
Yeah.
and at the end, I do my thanks, but, what state of mind I was in and the contact we had. So, it affected me and I was pretty low. And there was one time, probably about halfway, 3/4 way, I went in one day. And I would go in with my baseball cap, my big Fletcher's got this hoodie, and I went in one day and I was just literally sat down. I felt all I wanted to do was just go to sleep, and I just got enough energy to go and have my treatment. So I'm sitting in the seat, I'm bent over like this. Bearing in mind, obviously, the radiotherapy doesn't just focus on head and neck; it covers everything. So it covers the prostate and those that are in there. So there was a little group of guys, some my age, obviously a little bit more older, and they used to congregate daily, have their chat, meet, go and have a Costa, blah blah, and we got to know each other. So one morning I'm sat there, I bent over, and I was not in a great place, and this bless his heart, this old boy come over, and I sat there, and he just literally bent down, looked over me, and he went, "You all right, Fletch?" And I went, "No, today's not a good day." And he looked at me and he went, "Do you know what? At least you're not having your bleep zapped." And I had I creeped a little smile, and he just walked off, and that made my day, and it made me think, do you know what?
Could be
It's
worse.
not just me.
No.
There's other people going through this.
Yeah, that's what you got to remember.
And it is, and so there is that sort of togetherness. You're not alone when you go through this. You're not, when I was diagnosed, I came out of that hospital and, he was going like, "Well, I'll drive." No, I can drive. I'm all right. I'm driving. And we got halfway down and literally the tears started to come. And because I thought, I've got to deal with this now. I've got, am I going to be in the next year? Am I going to see the kids grow up? I'm going to see the grandchildren grow up. Am I going to see you guys again? Am I going to be able to run again? Am I going to do this? And all those go through your head, but you're not alone.
No.
Do not ever think you are alone. You've got people out there that can help, whether they're friends or
charities.
Whatever. Charities are immense. I mean, Macmillan's support was amazing, and we'll step onto that a little bit when we go on to the health side, mental health side. But there is support there, so please don't feel that you're on your own.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that
you're not.
You're right, Fletch. I think obviously the key takeaway is to get yourself bloody checked. Absolutely. And then when whatever happens there, to know that there is support, at home, maybe, if not at home, elsewhere. Come on to the charities. But the priority, what Fletch is trying to get across to all of you, I think, and myself as well, is to go and get yourself checked. I know it's like, right? We all have busy lives. We're all chasing everything, and it's just nuts, right? And this is somebody sitting here who's working 70 hours a week at the moment, which is nuts, right? Do I take the time to go and get checked up on stuff? No. It's hard enough to get a doctor's appointment at the moment. Like, I can't even talk about it today. I'm on another level angry with it about it. just to go and see somebody, like just a 5-minute call with your GP. And I can't even do that. So I appreciate how hard it is to go and see. And it's not the GP's fault. They're just overwhelmed. Right? It's not their fault. But you can't give up on that and just go like I feel like doing today and go, oh, fuck yeah, I'm just going to not worry about it. Because it is important that I follow that up. It is important that you get along and see that nurse or whoever it is you need to go and see to get your bloods tested or your PSA or whatever it is. So Fletch, absolutely right. Don't ignore things like it sounds. I'm going to get really crude now.
No,
you're wiping your bum. and it's blood, right? No, you know, you've got to go and get that checked.
Absolutely.
Or like I make you laugh, Flitch, but like when I had, well, you know, when
Mm.
I was losing over a pint of blood some days through my
Yeah.
nose, yeah,
Yeah.
and the doctor told me, oh, yeah, you just need to put some cream on it. I went, what? Are you for real? And then I went and
Yeah.
got it, and obviously they had that thing removed,
Okay.
and I got
Yeah.
it sorted out. Luckily for me, it was benign,
Yeah.
right? But if you don't push,
Mm.
because the NHS are so overwhelmed, because they're
Yeah.
amazing people, but there's so much they don't get the funding or
Yeah.
whatever. You need to make sure that you are listened to and you're heard and you're checked.
Absolutely. You know, on that note, you know, you said it. So with me, you know, I went to the GP. I finally got an appointment. Bang. Right, it's an 8-week referral. So I
Mm,
went away. Okay, fine. You know, put it to bed. We'll wait.
mm,
I'm in the system. Went home, and then on the Friday night. So this will give an insight, ladies, gents, mainly gentlemen or whatever.
mm.
The male mentality at the moment, and it goes on to what you just said there. I went home. We went home. The Friday night or the early hours of Saturday morning at 1 o'clock in the morning, I woke up really swallowing fluid.
Oh, maybe you tell me that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I went to the toilet. Oh, it's not right. It's just like constantly swallowing
Mm.
saliva. And I spat out pure blood, not
Yep.
clotted, just pure blood.
Yeah.
It was pouring out my throat. What did I do? Went back to bed. I'll deal with that in the morning.
Yeah.
I can't.
I
I
know.
don't want to wake the wife up. I don't want to bother anyone.
No,
I'll
you
deal with
don't.
it
You
in the
don't
morning.
want to. Yeah.
You know,
Happy, all
so
right.
I did. I went back to bed. Finally got it eased off a little bit. Finally got back to sleep. 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning. About 4:30, 4:45. Again, woke up really swollen, but this time it was more, and I couldn't contain it. I sat up, I coughed, and that was it everywhere. They woke up, right, hospital. Off we go to the hospital, straight in, saw the GP, looked it over, eased over. He said, so the GP, they x-rayed me. There's
Mm.
nothing they could see. Okay, fine. Okay, Mr. Fletcher, we can't see anything. If it happens again, just pop back and see us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I'm just bleeding from the throat.
I
You know,
know.
I've got a lump.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not bleeding now, so pop back and see us.
Yeah.
But fortunate enough, that letter that goes to your GP because you've been to the hospital,
Yes.
let you escalated it
That's the thing.
with the GP. They could now go, do you know what? We haven't got an 8-week referral for you now, Fletch. You're going to the top of the list, and away it went. So it's key. Don't, you know, have that male attitude. Oh, I'll
Yeah.
deal with it in the morning, or I'll deal with it next week.
I've got to get to work. I ain't got
Yeah.
time. Yeah. I mean, I was the same. I think I went to A&E about 4 times because I'd fill a sink up of blood.
Yeah.
And then you get there, by the time they got you through triage, oh, it's stopped.
Stopped. Yeah.
Well, there's not much we could do. Yeah, but I know there's something not right here. Yeah, but
Exactly.
we can't do anything.
That is it, Chris. You've just said the key word.
Yeah.
You know there's something not right. You know, we know our bodies. I
Yeah.
don't know your body, Chris. I don't know, you
Yeah.
know, Nick's
But I
body.
knew
I
they
don't
weren't
know the
saying
kid's body. Anyway, but I know mine, and I
Yeah.
know something's not
If
right.
I'm filling a sink up full of blood,
Yep.
right,
Something's
then
not right.
and it's coming out of my nose like a tap, it gives you something away, right? It was funny because the nurse said to me, "How do you run marathons if you're losing this much blood?" I said, "I'll be honest with you, I don't know." He said, "Because it don't make any sense." I said, "Well, I have got a bit slower." Anyway,
Yeah.
so, but it's true, right? But anyway, long story short, again, I pushed that through. But again, the GP made a misdiagnosis, not his fault, whatever. I
Mm.
did have an argument with him, as you'd
Mm.
expect, on the phone.
Yeah.
But long story short, I got it checked out, and it was lucky enough it
Absolutely.
was benign. But I had to push. I didn't then just sit there and go, "I'll just
Mm.
carry on with work and it's
Yeah.
just accept it." No, you've got to go and do something about
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's the thing. As I don't want to be stereotypical, but as blokes, we do tend to go, "Oh, it'll be all right," or we don't
Yeah.
tell anyone about it that you wiped your ass and there's
Yes.
blood on it. You just go, "Oh," but no, you need to go and do something
You do.
about that.
Yeah.
It's
Which
really, really important.
which then takes us on to that mental health because, you know, that's the next stage for it is dealing with it. So
Yeah,
for me, you know, I was in some bad places, some real
I know.
dark places. You know, I did not want to get up, and I even, you know, I couldn't even feed myself because I was being fed by tube syringes. You know, and I'm telling Dee, go away, leave me alone. I've had enough now. I can't do it anymore. You know, literally. And it was sort of like I was in those places. I just wanted to give up. You know, and then, you know, the mindset was pretty bad, and it was a case of you know, my friend at the start, one of my friends, you know, and I had my support group round, you know, I had yourself with Matt and Billy, you know, checking in regularly,
Yeah,
brilliant. But I had one of my guys that I used to play rugby with, Big Tobes and whatever, and he used to call me every Friday at 3 o'clock. Now it wasn't 2:59 on a Friday, and it wasn't 3:01 on a Friday.
yeah.
It was 3 o'clock on the dot, and there would just be a few words. You all right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crack on, you're doing well.
yeah.
Bang, the phone would go dead. That's all I needed, you
Mm,
know. And the text messages, like the WhatsApp message from yourselves and whatever, the
mm.
text messages and messages I was getting from others in the group,
Yeah, yeah.
they all help because you know I might not have been able to talk,
No.
but just receiving it gives you that little boost. So when you get in that mentality, you know, I dealt with it and I got through it, but I still wasn't right mentally. I
Mm,
needed help. My temperament was not great. My attitude was not great. I couldn't understand.
yeah.
So that's where the help comes in. And I was contacted, and I was basically told by the consultant that I needed to see someone.
Mm,
You know, and I'm quite open about speaking to people. You know, I've had many counselling sessions regarding health, mentality,
mm,
and my anger as well from
mhm.
previous life, not life, but earlier
Yeah,
in
yeah.
my life and
Yeah,
stuff. So you know, I was open to it. But Macmillan were brilliant,
yeah.
and it was all about me. You know, come
Mm,
on, how do you feel? But they know what to do, and
brilliant.
it's the big step, guys. Is yes, I know we all have that mentality of like, oh yeah, we deal with it inside, or you know, I can deal
Yeah.
with it. You can't. But they have a way of making you talk. You will talk to them no matter what. You will, because they
Mm.
have a way of doing it. You know, and you know you've got your experiences, Chris, from your own diagnosis and stuff. They make you
Yeah, I mean,
talk, don't
I
they?
have therapy. I have
Yeah,
therapy rigorously every week.
yeah.
I have talking therapy every week,
Hmm.
and if I don't, I murder. And don't get me wrong, some days I can go in there and I can bring nothing, and I'll just sit there and I'm all right. Yeah. Other days, like today, where I've had my ADHD. So if anybody didn't know, so I'm
Hmm.
neurodiverse. I've got ADHD. I'm waiting for the autism diagnosis as well, because I've done some tests on that and it's off the charts. No shock really to most people who know me.
But that's fine.
Yeah, critical anxiety and clinical anxiety, panic disorder. I've got, just write it down. I've got it.
Yeah.
But that's great. That makes me who I am. And I've had to go through a process of understanding that. Some days, like today, I struggle.
Hmm.
But I'm working through a therapy every week to help me through that. And the talking, I'm telling you now, is so good.
Yeah.
Now, the reason we mention this is because if you can't afford that,
Yeah.
you don't have that, there are charities that can do that, or you have a friend or a support network that can offer that to you. Now, like Fred said, with his friends, he would just check in,
Yep.
or like you had your mates, and if you're
Yep.
if you're open and honest about it, which I am about my neurodiversity, most of like my friends will say to me, what they will know I'm not right because they either won't hear from me, which is classic ADHD. You're like,
Hmm.
you're not in my focus, so you're over there. I don't even know you exist. That's not me being horrible. That's just I don't register because you're not in this
Yeah.
line of sight. And so other times I may be like today where I didn't get a telephone call from the doctors at 10 o'clock. So that I went into complete meltdown. Now it's unreasonable behavior if you stop and think about it because they're busy. But my whole day,
Mm.
my whole week has been focused on one appointment.
Yep.
One appointment. And because that, again, this is to do with my neurodiversity, right? But because that appointment didn't take place, I lost my mind.
Hmm.
And then I go in complete meltdown, shutdown. I can't do anything else. I literally have no interest
Yeah.
in anything else. And I won't have any interest in anything else tomorrow. I can tell you that now.
Mm.
but
You see,
the good thing is, sorry, Fletch,
no, go on.
my therapy's tomorrow.
Brilliant.
So I will come out of that. And the first thing I thought, my initial reaction today was, I need to go for a run. Right? They're bringing it slightly back in time, but
Yeah.
that's not just bullshit for this podcast. But that's generally my first instinct to do anything when I'm in that sort of mood, and I can feel myself being overwhelmed. When I can feel myself in ADHD, anybody's got that in terms of that paralysis where you literally have no interest in anything else because your whole day has been ruined because that one thing didn't take place or it changed slightly. Like again, anybody who's got autism or anything like that, you'll totally understand what I'm saying. But the thing I was only focused in on was, I wonder if I could go for a run when I get home, because I knew, and I know, as somebody who doesn't use medicine for their ADHD and other things, I know that for a run, I'll get that dopamine, the exercise, the wellness benefits will be outweigh that sort of feeling that I've had, and some of that sort of anger and depression and dark holes that I'm sitting in will lift. But I've also know that I've got therapy tomorrow, so I can talk all this through. And this is the point, yeah. So if you're going through, say, a health issue, yeah, because let's again bring it back on topic, like Fletch did. If you are going through something, and then you need to talk about it, there's no point getting a diagnosis of, I don't know, Christ knows, you've got throat and neck cancer potentially. If you sit there and keep that to yourself, what benefits that actually going to do you? Like nothing. Like zero. How's that going to make you feel better by not telling anyone, sit there and worry about it, sit there in the corner, worry about it all day?
Yeah.
And this is someone, again, who I will see a negative comment written about me on somebody else's video, and that's the only thing that I will think about for 72 hours. Yeah. So I get that. But it doesn't do you any good. It's like, and that's what I work on in therapy is how to, let some of that go and work through that. And it's really important. Talking therapy, you've got, like Fletch said, you've got Macmillan, you've got the NHS, they've got a wellness mental health program that you can use as well. There's so much support out there. If you find yourself in a situation where you have had a diagnosis or you're worried about stuff, and even not just health issues, but mental health issues, actually, to widen it out even more, you, as blokes, I'm telling you, you need a cowboy up and go and see someone.
Absolutely. And don't put it up, going back to what you're saying there. So, when I got diagnosed, I came and I needed to have a day or so to process it.
God, yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, honestly, because I had all those thoughts, am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to see this? Am I going to be able to, am I going to be here for mum? Am I going to see my sister again? All these thoughts go through your head, But then after I'd sort of like process it in a day or so, I phoned my best mate and told him.
Yeah.
And I said, like, I've got to tell you.
Yeah.
And then I told very selective before I went public. Because I still needed to digest it, but I needed to get rid of some of it off of me because it was eating me, and going for a run, you said there, can I go for a run? It's like a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, I was desperate. I'd done a run on a Sunday through obviously the great app that we're talking about that I'm following, but I couldn't run for several days. And I was anxious, and I felt, I need to go out and run. I need to go out and run, and I, in the end, I went out and I did 6K, and I absolutely loved it. I think I put a video up on my stories and stuff like that of how I felt. Now it's like that, that's my release. So
it's that wellness.
It goes back to, if you can get an appointment. Sorry, Chris, if you can get an appointment with a doctor, there ain't nothing to stop you from running to the doctor.
Or walking, if you're not in a state to run or whatever, cycle, whatever your thing is, right? But exercise, whatever shape or form you take it in, improving your wellness will help. Whatever you're going through will help. Running's powerful because of, everything you experience whilst you're running. But if you aren't able to do that because of what you're going through, like I remember, Fletch, when you was doing your walking. Yeah. So the benefits of walking is untold. Yeah. So
walked the 10K, didn't I? The winter 10K.
That's what I'm saying.
All going off and leaving me, but I'm walking it. I had a fantastic time.
See it, mate. But the point is that you need to exercise.
Yeah.
Yes, running is super, super powerful in terms of what it can offer you. Wherever you are in your health journey. I think in terms of one thing I do want to mention is, and this is not about 40 runs, okay? I'm just going to make this absolutely clear, right? But the power of a running group as a social aspect, right? Now that can be, that's why I don't want to make it about, I'm just want to make it clear.
No,
that could be 3 or 4 of your mates who run together, in terms of a group. Yeah, so let's just make that clear. But if you've got that sort of connection around physical activity, it is amazing how it works. And this could be about cycling. It could be about maybe not necessarily swimming because I suppose it's hard to talk underwater, but you know, to do something, that physical activity, five-a-side football, whatever it
Mm,
is, but within that social element of having that opportunity to talk. Now,
yep,
I know from when I run with my mates and we're doing long runs, we talk about everything.
mm,
And again, I'm somebody who's very open about my mental health and my neurodiversity, right? So I will openly discuss how I'm feeling. They probably already know it, to be honest,
yep,
but it is true. But having that running group for me, you know, is so critical. And even like to go along and coach a session on a Tuesday, right?
mm,
To turn it a little bit round, to see those guys and girls get something out of that. Actually, I may go there in a really bad mood because I'm not having a very good day in terms of the way I'm feeling. I might be overwhelmed, whatever, and whatever. But then to go there and have a real positive session with those guys to see what they've got out of it, straight away changed my mood.
yep,
And although I'm not doing physical activity, I'm involved in it.
mm,
So I go back to the point of volunteering.
mm.
I met a guy who had MS. He's done 1,000 volunteering things at Parkrun. What a hero!
Wow.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So just because you can't run, and
Mm.
that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. Go and volunteer.
Social.
Wellness.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
again, you might be going through something. You might have had a diagnosis. You may be waiting, like Fletch, you know, had
Mm,
to get that letter, to get that phone call.
mm.
But there's stuff that can make you, I wouldn't say feel better, but actually improve the situation. Lift some of that fog, lift some of that off your shoulders.
Yep.
And I think as a bloke, as a geezer, still, whatever reason, we don't necessarily look at it like that.
No.
We can sink back a little bit and sort of, I'll stick my head in the sand and it'll be all right.
Yeah.
Not,
Don't.
no.
Absolutely don't. You know, I've gone through my life, you know, and you know me from it, you know, I've had a great rugby
Mm.
career and I've done many things, traveled many places and whatever. But, you know, I never thought I was going to get this. Never
Ah,
thought for a million years I was going to get this, you know.
well,
Well,
no.
you know, I've gone from 2018 from a large lump, smoking and drinking, yeah, you know, I put my hands up and whatever, to stopping it all,
Yeah.
getting fit, 2019 running a London Marathon, getting fit, and you know, it just comes in, and then bosh, I'll get this, and I'm like, well, hang on a minute,
Where'd that come from?
what? Why me? What? You
Yeah.
know, I'm doing everything to get myself fitter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who you are, and you know, and the prime example, and I'm gonna say it as well. You know, and it's not pushing it for publicity. Chris Hoy, you know,
Yeah.
watch
Jesus.
that documentary, people.
Blow your
Honestly,
mind.
it
That
is
will.
mind blowing because of what that guy's going through
Yeah.
and what he's going through as a family as well.
Work that out.
Exactly.
It makes no sense.
It doesn't, but it just goes to show get things tested, get sorted, you know?
100%.
It doesn't you don't have to be getting up several times in the night. You do not have to be showing symptoms. It can be normal,
Mm.
but get yourself checked, guys. You know, use this month if you even go and book it once, you know, and then as soon as you come out, go to reception, book yourself in for 6 months' time.
Yeah. There's no
Simple as
harm in
and you
it.
know.
It's there. We
Exactly.
are so blessed in this country. And
Absolutely.
as I said, I wasn't. I hope that didn't come across. I was giving my hard time earlier,
No.
but you know, we've got this amazing thing called the NHS,
Yep.
who have got some absolute heroes working there. Yeah,
Fully.
and you know, they're just amazing human beings.
Yep.
They're there for us. Okay. Yeah, you know, you all pay your taxes and all that sort of stuff. Your
National
national
insurance.
insurance,
We
it's
pay
all
our
there.
national insurance. So use it. You've paid
Use
for
it.
it.
It might take a bit of time, but don't, like I said, don't give up. Yeah. So, you know, tomorrow I'm going to book myself back in.
Yep.
You know, I'm going to go back down. They better ring me on time. But no, it's true. But no, it's like don't give up. Don't sit there so like Fletcher and say, "Oh, actually, it'll be all right." It won't. Go and get it checked out. Get yourself booked in. Get your bits checked. You know, make
Yep.
sure you're checking yourself. And if anything don't feel a bit lively, I know you feel like a plonker going in there and go, "Oh, just wipe my arse and all this blood." No, it don't matter. Trust me, the doctor's heard it a million times,
It's
right?
seen worse.
Yeah, exactly. So don't worry about that. You've got to go in there. It sounds a bit awful, but you know, sometimes you do want to see a bloke nurse,
Yeah.
but don't worry about it.
No.
Again, just make sure that you make that clear. That you can remove all those barriers to you getting that help.
Yeah.
It's all up here, right? Take it all away. Go and see someone. Get some help. Get some advice. And if you're struggling with the mental health side of things, get help as well. Yeah, like we've
Absolutely.
spoken about, therapy,
Yeah.
NHS, clinics,
Yeah.
charities, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Don't be sitting there stewing it over and
No,
and going down a very dangerous path, because that's no good either.
it's not. It's not. It's not at all. And and I've been there. I've
Yeah,
done it.
more than anyone else, mate.
More. Years back I did it, and I've come through it. But the one thing I will say is, if you look at it, and I use this quite a lot, and I
Mm,
say it to a lot of people. When you wake up in the morning, you take your first breath.
mm.
It's a good day.
Yeah, too bleeding right, mate.
It's a good day. If you come into it with that mentality, nothing else can wait. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about next week. Don't worry about 2 weeks, 3 weeks down the line, whatever. Just worry about today. Watch Chris Hoy and he'll explain it even better. Seriously.
That's an eye opener.
But yeah, but when you wake up and you take your first breath, it's a good day. And you can't ask for anything better than that.
No, exactly. And
You
I
know?
think that's somebody. Don't forget, that's somebody who's knocked on death's door
Exactly.
and said, "Up yours. I'm not
Exactly.
coming in, mate."
Exactly.
So
So,
take that on board, people.
please,
Yeah,
please. It's the main thing, and I'm going to add as well, if you are struggling, message me. Big
yeah.
Fletch runs Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Just get or through the group or whatever. Message me.
Mm.
All right. I don't judge. I'm here.
No
I'm
one.
happy to talk. I'll talk even openly about my experiences. I'm
Mhm.
not a doctor, but what I will do is guide you to a doctor.
Yeah, signposts.
Simple as that.
That's the thing. There's plenty of signposting
Yep.
out there. Again,
Absolutely.
if you feel like the only person who may understand is Fletch, message him. If it's
Please.
me, message me.
Yeah.
But there are professional
Professionals.
people out there
Absolutely.
that will,
Yep.
again, I always believe in starting with your GP, right? You
Mm.
might not get through to them straight away, whatever, but
Yeah.
honestly, you'll be surprised
Yeah.
how much work they've done in improving mental health services, but also on the health side of things
Yeah.
as well. And they are aware, that some blokes do struggle
Yeah.
to get in there. They are aware of it, So
Yeah.
don't be thinking,
No.
I don't want to go. Do
No.
it. Just
Exactly.
make
Because
sure you do it.
if you've got a good mate, your mate's going to say, "Do you know what? You're going to be all right, but go and see your GP."
Yes, first thing. Anyone ever says to you, just go, "You been
Isn't
to
it?
the doctors about it?"
Yeah.
No.
Why
Maybe you
not?
should. Yeah,
You
exactly.
should.
So
You'll be all right. Do you want me to hold your
yeah,
hand?
make
Hey.
sure you do that, people. If that's the thing. If you take anything away from it today, is to
Yeah.
get yourself along, get yourself checked. Don't struggle. There's people out there. We're all going through it.
Yep.
I know, everybody at the moment seems to have ADHD and all this sort of stuff. But don't be put off by anything. Don't put any
No.
barriers in your way.
No.
Get help if you need help.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what you got. You're still you. You've
Yeah.
got what you've got, Chris, but you're still Chris Ford.
Yeah, that's what
It
makes
doesn't
me. That's
change
why I
it.
won't. That's why I won't take the medicine.
No.
And that because I've had this 45 years.
Mm.
All right, I was only diagnosed with ADHD 5 years ago. And
I
okay,
thought you was
fine,
55.
behave yourself.
All right.
But
Sorry.
if all the
Yeah.
testing I've done shows I've got autism. But if I have it, I have it. I don't care about labels. What difference does that make? That's
Exactly.
me as a human being. The most important
Absolutely,
thing
mate.
is that I'm doing something. I'm doing work to make
Yeah.
my life easier. And I would say
Yeah.
everything about it to you. Go and do the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get help, get support, however that comes.
Hmm.
What form you take it. That's the most important thing. Right, big boy. Thanks for coming on. Again, brilliant idea about
Thank
doing
you.
this. Really important. Again, check out Fletcher on Instagram. Make
Yeah.
sure you do that. If you do need signposting, please, I would start 100% on the NHS website. There's
Absolutely.
so much on there about how you can get help, how you can do that. But, again, go along to your local GP and get support down there. They are brilliant, these people. They are under a lot of stress and a lot of pressure,
Yeah.
especially for people like me. So apologies to
Yeah.
my local doctors, but 10 o'clock, if you say 10 o'clock, ring me at 10 o'clock.
But they will get to you. They will see
Yeah,
you.
exactly. Yeah,
That's the key.
yeah.
Please, and I know you're going to wrap it up, but from me, please, guys, this month, if there's anything you do, check yourself over.
Yeah.
Make sure you're 100%. If there's something not right, go and get it checked.
100%.
Message me, phone me, do whatever you need to do, or go to the GP. Please do it. You know, if one person just does it and something good comes out of it, fantastic.
Job done.
Okay?
Last 40 minutes well
Yeah,
spent.
it's a great month. But for me personally, the opportunity has come now to thank you all for your support. You've been on that journey with me.
Mhm.
You know, I'm not going to name drop. I'm not, because, in fact, I am. I'm going to mention one person, the chairman.
The chairman.
Chairman emailed me regular.
Good old boy.
Honestly, I was touched. But the rest of you, any, whether you're in FORDYs, you're not, if you listen to this and you're not part of the community or whatever, that's your choice. Please come and join us, because we're great and we are a family, and it's brilliant. But if you're not, that's your choice. But go and get yourself checked.
Yeah, 100%. Great way to finish, Fletch.
So I'm here. I'm still going. I'm still running. Thank you, Cooper. So doing an amazing job. Got to get that in.
Yeah, good boy.
Doing an amazing job. Love them. So if you do need that, go and check that out. Was it FORDY Runs? Is it
FORDYruns.com/. You're welcome. Well done, Fletch.
Yeah. But they are great there, and they've been really supportive through my mental health as well. And it's great. And hopefully I'll see you all out running soon. I think the only thing I've got is winter 10K again, so I'm looking forward to doing that. But
are you going to run now? Are you going to walk it again?
No, I'm running. I'm gonna put it out there, because I'm
no, don't.
No, I am. I want to do a 50 or sub 50-minute 10K.
You should get Pete to pace you.
Huh?
You should get Pete Cooper, Pete to
pace you. I think I might tag him in on it, but because it's going to be his training plan. It's going to get me it.
Yeah, and then he has to prove it. Yeah,
they've got me a sub hour.
I know, amazing, isn't it?
After my treatment, so I'm well happy, and got me around Great North as well.
Blows my mind. Brilliant stuff. All right, big boy.
Yes.
Right, okay, team. Thanks very much. Thanks, Big Fletch. I'm going to play the outro now, Fletch. So hang on, and I want to chat to you. Sure. So thanks again, everybody. We'll see you all soon on one of the live shows. Take care. We'll see you soon.